The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show. Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with probably my favorite, if not one of my favorite episodes where we have Suzanne. Suzanne Bandick is our results coach. She is great I'm fairly good at what to do and how to do it, but boy, oh boy, is she great at why to do it and how to actually have the beliefs that allow you to do it and how to experience it in a way that is what you want, which is such an important thing. So today, again, I wish I could take topic for her credits, but I can't. Or for her topic, credit for her topic. But she wants, and again, she has so much just frontline experience with kind of our clients' fears and excitements and stuff like that. So today we're going to talk about the difference between being an owner versus being an employee. And I think, yeah, there's just so much to unpack. So I'm going to let Suzanne begin and I will jump in and annoy her as I see fit.
Perfect. And I would like to preface this with the fact that this is important to note whether you're dealing with commercial clients or whether you're dealing with residential clients. This is appropriate for both.
I would take it out a step to say this is appropriate whether you have a cleaning company or not a cleaning company. This ownership versus employee mindset is just runs through. And part of the reason I'm so excited for this, Suzanne, is I've got so many thoughts on this, and it's such a good, I always talk about how the better the question, the better, that's half of it. And when Suzanne had that as a topic, I immediately started taking a bunch of notes. So I'm fairly crystallized on my thoughts. And every time Suzanne and I have a conversation, she adds so much. So I'm excited to kind of flesh out my own thinking with your perspective.
Well, let's unpack it. And I would like to look at the areas of when you go to do a walkthrough and a bid.
Okay.
And when you go to do price increases, and how you interact with your employees. I'd like us to look at those three different areas.
I think those are excellent representations. If you can kind of make the distinction, all three of those areas, I think we can extrapolate to probably 90% of the other areas that you might run into. So well framed.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about how you present yourself when you do a walkthrough and a bid. Mike, your comments on that?
Well, I'm not so much comments as let me lay a foundation. So for commercial, it's pretty just understood we're going to do bids in person. There's not a lot of question on that. For residential, I don't want to say there's a debate, but there's certainly two perspectives on let's do bids in person versus let's just have some sort of automated business that does it on its own. And I will, so two things there. One, and also on commercial, not only is it pretty assumed that you're going to do bids, I guess the bid shall be done in person. The only confusion or fuzziness might be, well, do I as the owner do a bid or do I send an employee out? And typically, I'm just going to look at the size of my company versus the size of the opportunity. So if I'm doing 10, 20 grand a month, I'm going on all the bids, right? And for commercial, you probably want to have $500 or $1,000 a month minimum, depending on the size of your company and how much you want little customers. If I'm doing $1 million a year, I might only go on bids I perceive are going to be at least 2,500 or more per month, or whatever the case may be. So generally for commercial, well, 100% for commercial, a human should be on site bidding. That's pretty much expected. It is okay for you as an owner to do that. Because again, say, if you're doing 10 grand a month and you're going even on a little $1,000 a month bid, well, shoot, that one bid is 10% of your whole revenue. So it's certainly, what else are you going to do with your time? It might take a couple hours. Like, what else can you do with your time that's more valuable than that? Even if you're doing $1 million a year and you're like, I only go on $2,500 a month bids. Well, that's 30 grand a year of revenue. That, it's only 3 or 4% of your revenue. But if you do one or two of those a month, like it's going to add up. So that's on the commercial side. On the residential side, I feel differently on the salesperson versus, because it's so much more flow. Like in commercial, certainly if you're doing good bids and you're getting a decent percentage of them, you're not going to be going on 17 bids in a month. A good month, you might go on 4, right? So it's just in terms of the time. And also we talk about doing things from afar. You don't have to physically be there. You can have someone else do the walkthrough and you can do the bid the way I'm talking with Suzanne. You can do it over Zoom. So with residential, because you ideally will have 30, 40 bids in a month, absolutely okay to hire a salesperson, right? Totally, totally fine. But the big debate comes into, should I go or should I just do it online? We coach to do it in person for a couple of reasons. One, the online model only works in certain businesses or certain areas. Like if you're in LA, you might be able to pull that off. But if you're in Dubuque, you're just not getting enough flow to have. There's just not going to be enough. Also, the quality goes way up, right? Online, it's going to be a lot of one-time cleans, which we don't encourage. It's going to be a lot of you just don't know what you're getting. So different topic for a different day, but I would highly encourage someone to be in person on residential bids, and oftentimes the owner to be in person on commercial bids. So that was a long rabbit trail for nothing, but I just want to make sure we set the table. Now let's get back to the topic at hand, Suzanne.
Perfect. So you go into, let's say you're talking about your bid, you're doing your walkthrough, and the person that you're talking to starts to stipulate a whole bunch of things. Yeah, but I want this and that and that. And by the way, the price is too high. They start throwing a whole bunch of things at you. And then you tend to want to cave, right? It's like, oh, well, we don't normally do this, but for you, we'll do this. Oh, but we'll adjust our price. Does a business owner try to act like a puppy and please the client totally? Or do they come in and say, I'm the expert. I'm the expert in cleaning, and this is what I recommend we do. As long as I solve the pain, I'm going to make this exactly what you want. And this is how we do it. And this is the price we charge.
So everything you just said with the energies, the way you demonstrated, I couldn't agree more from the puppy dog energy versus the authoritative, like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm here to help. And if you want some help, let's go. And if you want to get the cheapest price, then best of luck with that. All that couldn't be more on aligned with you, Suzanne. The only small perspective shift I might have is I don't know that I would define the two energies you demonstrated as business owner versus employee. I think they're both business owner energy. I would call the first one kind of being a puppy dog and trying to please and modify small business owner energy, like fear business owner, like scarcity business owner, like, and I've been that, by the way. So please don't hear me judging, guys. Ask me how I know so well that energy, because I've done it. It is yucky. So it just kind of the same thing with, yeah, we'll do it anyway. It's not scalable. The scalable business owner is like, I know I've got a system. I know I'm going to have 100 bids. I know what I know. And I'm on this. I know we're real good at this thing that we do. And if you want to jump on board, let's go. And if you don't, that's okay. There'll be another one round the bend. Works. Same thing with employees, by the way. Like, Suzanne was like, as a mindset coach, I'd like foot rubs every month. And I don't really think the clients need my personal thing. I've got an AI bot that's going to do it. And, sometimes I don't really care about them. But she's great. And I'm like, all right, well, I need Suzanne. I love her. I'll just bend the whole vibe of the business to her. Small business owner. Big business is like, hey, man, we got a vision. We're going this way. We want to make sure we're all on the same page, as opposed to bending to an employee, a software, a customer, a prospect, a new market, whatever this opportunity we have. So agree with the energies is in terms of healthy and unhealthy, but I would say it's more not business owner, non-employee. I'd say it's scalable business owner that's got a vision versus fearful business owner that's going to crumple and probably stay small.
That would be appropriate.
Ooh, all right. That sounded very mom-like, not like I agree. It's like, that would be appropriate. I'm like, oh my gosh, heaven forbid I said something inappropriate.
Right.
I've known Suzanne many years. That might be the first time she's told me I was appropriate. I'm sure she told me I've been inappropriate several times, but I think that might be. And she didn't even give me the full appropriate. She gave me the guard. That might be appropriate. Little withholding over there, Suzanne.
Okay. So back to topic.
I don't know why you put up with me, Suzanne, but I'm sure glad you do.
Again, it's how we think of ourselves and our business. Okay, it's really important to picture ourselves and repeat to ourselves, I am the owner. I think a lot of clients and people that have cleaning companies have started as the cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard sometimes to have the shift in your mindset to be able to step back and say, no, I need to work on the business. I can't be working in the business like an employee. And again, moving into the employee section, we talk to a lot of our people that are saying, I need to work with my cleaners so they know I'm one of them. Did you see Mike's face? Go to the video. They need to know I work hard too. No, they need to know that you're taking care of them, that you're taking care of the business, that you're finding the clients so they can stay employed. That's what they need you for, not cleaning with them.
Gosh, I just saw this. You're so correct, Suzanne. And you just said it in a way that made me think of something I don't think I thought of before. The fact of what you said is just irrevocably true. But the energy I just got for the first time, and I'll just go with you and I so people get the vibe. I need to be there and do mindset calls with Suzanne and outwork her and be, at the virtual office early and stay late so she knows that I am working hard. That is such a, I don't say selfish energy, but certainly a self-centered. There's a lot of I need, and Suzanne needs to know what I'm doing because I want and I'm here. And you shifted it so beautifully to what they really want. And Suzanne cares about me, but she's a human. I'm guessing she cares about her a little more, like as well she should as an independent human. The other energy is they need to know that you're taking care of them and there's a vision they can follow and they can participate in. Their life's going to be what they want and their dreams can get made. So really that is such a, I haven't thought of it this way, those are in my notes, but I do think the employee energy is a little more me, which is okay. And it should be some team. Like, again, Suzanne's not like everyone can die. I don't care about our clients, but she certainly cares how she fits into that and that it meets her needs, and she should. The owner energy is not that. It's a good, effective owner energy is they. Like, how can they win? And if they win, I'm going to win. So that I really think that energy shift between I and they is so powerful between owner and employee. Hey, new friend, love that you were here. If you want more Cleaning Nation, more us, you can check us out on YouTube. Similar content, you just get to see each other. It's totally free. Or if you want to say, hey, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, join our free Facebook group. We love hearing from you, Cleaning Nation. That's what makes it magic. Jump on, we'll see you there.
It's a shift, and it's the habit, and it's a different way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And I would encourage everyone as you're stepping out of the I do all the work. You don't understand. I need to do it all. As you step out of that energy, your self-esteem is going to increase. Your self-confidence is going to increase. And your business will become stronger and better because you're allowing other people to do what they do best. And you're orchestrating the whole thing.
It's one of the things I did have in my notes is when I was younger, I felt if I could just get other people to do 70% as well, first I thought I have to do everything. And my businesses by definition were very small. Even when I had employees, they're just extensions of me, right? They are my tools. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're just going to do what I want. They're just extra bodies, not a healthy energy. And I didn't consciously feel that way, but comparatively. The second version is if I could just get them to do 80% of what I'm doing without me, I don't say manipulating, but you know what I'm saying? Just independently of me, right? Not where I have to do everything. So they're independent human beings working for the company and their own goals. If they could just do 80% as well as I could, I'd do it. And that's a big step forward for sure. But the reality is, I tell Suzanne this at least once a month, or I try to. The stuff that she does with her clients, 80%. I couldn't do 12%. Like, I just kind of marvel at the conversations that she has. So I really think that's the top energy. We go from everyone's dumb and just has to do it to I'm the smart guy and I'm the fountainhead of all ideas and everything else, which is a tremendous amount of pressure if you're not all knowing, which I'm not. Maybe some of you guys out there are. I don't know why you'd be listening, but not only is it bad for the business, it's bad for the employees, and it sucks for you. It's too much of a weight to carry to be like, all good ideas have to come from me because half my ideas, if not more, bad. So that's the worst place. Second worst place. If I could just get people to do 80% of what I'm doing independently, that would be great. And you're really living a dream when you're like, this gal is so much better at their job than I am. So even when it's obvious when it comes to a higher skilled job like Suzanne, it's pretty clear, like she's better at her job than I am. There's not a lot of debate. When it comes to cleaning or something a little more mundane, we can be a little more confused. Like, oh, I'm this magic cleaner and everyone has to just do it the way I want. It's like, do they? Is it possible that, first of all, maybe it's not about you and how well you clean. It's about what the client wants and how they want to feel when they come home. And maybe other people aren't quote unquote as good of a cleaner as you, whatever the heck that means. That would be like me saying I'm a better coach than Suzanne. What do you mean? Like in sports, and like to whom, under what circumstance, for what result? Like it's just a ridiculous thing. Like, but if the goal is to make the client feel a certain way, there's a good chance other people on your team aren't just as good or 80% as good or even 100%, but 200% as good. So feel free to, and the weight just goes away. Like when I'm in a meeting with Suzanne and the team, I have some ideas and more than half of the good ones come from you all. And I just hijack them or maybe I'll add a twist or maybe I'll just hands down, perfect, we'll do that. So I just want to encourage you guys. And like Suzanne said, it's a shift, right? One of my mentors, Cole Gordon, says it's not a light switch, it's a knob. So don't just expect you'll hear this podcast, but oh, I had the light switch off on letting my employees be great. I shall turn it on. Like, best of luck if you're able to do that. You'll start coaching Suzanne when you can do that. It's a knob. You'll start turning it up, and sometimes it'll go down, and that's okay. All right. So was that number? So the first one was kind of how we look at bidding. Was the second one cleaning, or did I miss?
Yeah, well, it's getting all mixed in.
Okay,
is what we've
as
done.
it does.
But again, it's and you said, I'm trying to remember because you brought up a really good point. Oh, this is the point. That imagine walking in to do your bid and somebody says, well, will you be doing the cleaning? And you say, oh, no, you don't want me. I have a fabulous team. You want them. Imagine the confidence your client is going to feel knowing that you've got this under control. It doesn't have to be just you. You've got a team. Wow. You've just moved up in their self-esteem eyes.
So funny you say that, Suzanne. When I occasionally am enrolling, on occasions when I'm enrolling people, the same thing. Are you going to be coaching me? I'm like, well, do my part. But, and I say this without, not to sell anyone or not to make anyone feel good, just because it's the truth of the matter. Oh my gosh, my team is so much better than me. If you think I'm good, wait till you meet the team. You're like, holy heck. And it makes me feel great because I believe that's the truth. And I think it does make them feel great. I don't think they feel like, oh, well, they're a scam. Anything other than how great that is that he's so enamored with his team and he's so confident they can do a great job. I've never had any one person go, even people are like, I love you from the podcast. I know I'm a huge fan, blah, 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 blah. Maybe they think it. I doubt it. I think they're just like Suzanne said at the beginning, like, oh, I just need my needs met. And I thought you were the only one that can meet my needs. But when you've got such authority and such confidence in saying, no, we have a system, because God forbid it's me. A, I'm going to make mistakes. B, I'm only one person. I can only be in one place at one time. C, I've only got a limited skill set. Like there's just all this stuff where they don't want you cleaning. They want a qualified person that's going to get the job consistently cleaning, because you might go on vacation, get hit by a bus, be sick, not feel like cleaning, whatever.
And here's an example I use a lot. The CEO of Starbucks, the owner of Starbucks, when a barista doesn't show up, do you think they run in and make the coffee?
Yeah. And it's such a ridiculous thought. And we make it like, well, but that's a big company. And it's like, yes, and we're not that. My company is much smaller than Starbucks. And people very quickly go, boy, I sure like Mike, or maybe they didn't, but Suzanne's better, Jackson's better, the team is better. And it takes about that long. They talk to her for 10 seconds. Oh, I get it. Right. This person knows what they're doing.
And it's because of areas of expertise. So create the team of giants.
And vice versa.
That's your job as the owner.
If the CEO of Starbucks is sick, you think the barista tries to run the thing? He would get crushed, or she would get crushed. And I'm guessing, no offense, CEO of Starbucks, he probably makes a terrible cup of coffee, and that's okay.
I bet he does.
I know I'm terrible at cleaning. I can tell you that right now. And just for you guys that want a little inside baseball, the scuttle, not the scuttlebutt, but the known fact amongst our clients and certainly the team is Mike makes people cry, and then Suzanne makes them feel better. So again, if you want to cry, I'm probably sometimes Suzanne makes them cry, but for a happy reason. I usually just make them sad. If you want to get hit in the head with a bat and get reality quick, which sometimes doesn't feel great, I'm your man. If you want to fix it and go forward and feel like you're going to make it to another day, then you're probably going to want to talk with Suzanne. It's just different skill sets. All right. What was the third piece? I always derail us, and I want to make sure we get all the points that you had at the beginning. Have we covered it, or is it still up?
We have. The final point that I want to make is I would like to suggest to everyone, even if you feel like you do not now have a large business, have a strong business, have a really profitable business where you don't have to be working in it, You cannot change where you are unless you start thinking about where you want to be. And you start making the little moves and the little thoughts that bring where you want to be closer to where you are. So I'm going to say start baby steps, start thinking about yourself as a business owner, and say, what would a business owner do in this situation? What would they be thinking in this situation? And if you've got a larger business and you can stretch further than that, say, what would $1 million business owner be thinking and doing with this situation?
Yeah, so wherever you want to be, what would that guy do? If you're doing 5
Yeah.
million, what would a $10 million business owner do? And the cool
Yeah.
thing is that's really a just simple, easy, clear way to say, cast a vision, right? Like that's really what you're, no offense, guys, they can get 15, 20 bucks an hour to clean toilets from lots of different options, or maybe a little more money for a less crappy job. Sorry about the terrible pun. Anywhere. But here's where we're going. Here's what we're doing. This is who we're going to serve. This is what we stand for. Here's where we're going to be. That's what people get excited about. So the cool thing is you don't have to like separately create a vision. When you're just like, this is where I'm going, I'm excited about it. People are going to want to, the right people are going to want to be a part of it. And the right people are going to be repelled by that. And they're both great. So even if you just got one guy or one gal on your team, that's probably one of the more common questions I get about building a culture. How do I build a culture with just the one guy? I'm like, it's the easiest thing in the world. Building culture with 1,000 people is very difficult. Building it with more than about 12, which is about how many kind of, even that's a lot for direct reports. 6 to 8 is probably better, but above 12, where you can kind of see them, touch them, hug them, talk with them every day, is hard. So believe it or not, it's the opposite. The less people you have, the easier, because they get all of you unadulterated 100% of your employee time. So again, if you're, and there'll be a time where it's just a couple of you guys, and it's so much fun when you start with just 3 or 4 or 5 of you, and then there's 30 in the room, and then 50, and you're like, especially for the older guys and gals that have been with you a while, they're like, oh my gosh, I remember it was just you and me at the McDonald's. And it's a ton of fun. And there's a reason people go, I was a 32nd employee at Google, right? They want that because everybody had the vision and you are the fountainhead of that vision. All right. My rant is over. Suzanne, anything to add? Anything I missed?
That's it. It's not about working harder. It's about thinking differently.
There you go. That is, you want to be an owner, think like an owner. You want to be an employee, work harder. All right, guys, gals, if that's been helpful and you are like, I do want something different, I want to make a change, feel free to shoot me an email, mike@growmycleaningcompany.com. Reach out to the team. We have coaches like the lovely Suzanne. And all we do when it comes here is just help you guys make more, work less, have more leverage, be the people that you probably got, the entrepreneurs that you got trapped inside, help them get out. So again, shoot me an email, mike@growmycleaningcompany.com. We'll help any way we can. Talk to you next time. See ya. Well, here we are, the end of the podcast, and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you for sticking through with me. But like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share it with a friend. Share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431. That's 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now, 602-932-6431. Give me a text, say hey, can't wait to meet you.